Hello, Paul here. I thought I'd have a go at coming up with some alternative methods of carbon fixing in line with the $100 million reward put forward by Elon Musk. Time to get paid. As a human biologist, I am biased to think of our world like you would an individual human. Our Earth breathes, it creates waste products, and is host to numerous parasites, and it can get very sick. My first solution is to extract the CO2 from the atmosphere and project it into outer space, based on my understanding of cell biology. To do that, first you must understand different methods of intercellular molecular transport. If there is no barrier between two cells, molecules, like gas in a room, will fill up each cell equally. To get to this situation, the molecules will flow from high concentration all the way to low concentration until they are equalized. If you were to artificially create a carbon dioxide concentration gradient traveling away from Earth, the CO2 may just follow it. My method: a very large straw. The straw is held between two satellites, the first being at the altitude of the highest CO2 concentration, and the second being very high indeed. Once at the correct altitude, the CO2 will be cold enough to become solid, like ice, dry ice. They are to be put into an unstable orbit directed outside of the Earth's gravitational pull. Truly beautiful. Truly beautiful. Imagine ice cube satellites launched into eternity, only to be found by future spacefaring creatures, perhaps as a warning of what could happen if they aren't careful. Bye-bye! The problem with this plan is everything. It's fun to go through the issues and try to fix them as we go. The first issue is getting the CO2 into the straw. Actually, it's probably the most fixable issue of all the issues. You would have two filters. One for products smaller than CO2 and another for products larger than CO2. This wouldn't be an issue, however. Maintenance of these filters would be. A maintenance crew stationed nearby would be important. Next, we have the issue of the beginning of creating a concentration gradient along our straw. Initially, I imagined fans along the length of the straw. However, for this to occur, the strength of the straw, to maintain its rigidity and low weight, would have to be far greater than what is currently available in material science. Never to fear, there are other solutions in here. Rather a sense of series of of one-way valves up the length of the straw. Initially, you would have the lowest altitude valve open. This would create a carbon dioxide breeze up the straw. Consider the materials to be like a very long balloon. As the breeze reaches the initial valve, the straw inflates and a gradient is created. As each level is reached and equalized, the next valve is opened and the current one closed. I imagine this would work for a small amount of time until we get to a point where there is not enough atmosphere for the material strength to keep up. And, like in every space movie ever, the pressure gradient from inside to outside the straw would be too great, leading to catastrophic explosion. Even if that catastrophic explosion wasn't happening, leaks probably would occur along the straw's length, requiring additional maintenance crews stationed every kilometre or so of altitude. So now, consider that this issue of materials too weak to hold the CO2 in is actually fine and not a real issue. What happens when the carbon dioxide reaches the solid temperature, let alone the liquid temperature? Unfortunately for my vision, carbon dioxide becomes liquid under high pressure and cold. We have the cold, but the pressure is low. So there goes my idea of dry ice cubes wandering through space. But not to fear, there are different alternatives. If you were to transport the gas close enough to the moon, you could create a carbon dioxide atmosphere. Our moon could really use some warming right now, especially if we are to make it into an astro paradise. One more of that one. Next, there is the issue of getting the straw into space. Even the Falcon Heavy would be in trouble trying to send up a folded up megastraw, let alone the 2 satellites on either end. But not to fear. Rather than create the straw on Earth, we could find a large enough asteroid made out of the correct materials, place it into Earth orbit, and have some nanobots create a straw out of the asteroid while in orbit. And as the straw slowly descends to the correct altitude, the brilliance of this solution is that you would have a perfectly fine carbon processing facility at the top of the straw. Indeed, a hollow asteroid is the solution. The solution to all our climate issues. 100 million, please. Michelangelo's David, making you swear. Are you more spaghetti than marble down there? Then it is time you're made aware. A Blue Rhino, the only chicken bill made exclusively from rhinoceros horn. That's Blue Rhino. Are you horny? Solution 2. Make the ocean great again. Our ocean is the largest natural carbon sink in the world. Carbon dioxide interacts with the H2O to create carbonic acid, causing the acidification of the world's oceans, which is a real worry for climate scientists, as it damages the world's fisheries. Yet again, if you were to model the world like a human, the acidification of the ocean would be very similar to someone living with metabolic acidosis. This is an issue where the blood is more acidic than normal. One of the symptoms of high blood acidity is to breathe faster. Blowing carbon dioxide out of your system at a faster rate pulls the acid out of your blood via carbon dioxide. Therefore, the way I propose to fix global warming is to Therefore, the way I propose to fix global warming is to increase the amount of carbon that the ocean can take in the form of carbonic acid. And the best way to do that is to add a basic chemical to the ocean. In effect, we clean the ocean with some detergent. The ocean could sure do with some cleaning.
Clean under the sun is Tide Clean, new Tide Clean.
Clean and bright as the sun on the sand. The kind of clean you like best next to those you love. That's because new Tide has extra cleaning power. With Tide, things always come out clean and fresh as a sea breeze. More than white, more than bright, really clean.
Clean.
The cleanest clean under the sun.
What a wonderful sight when your wash is done. The cleanest clean under the sun is Tide Clean, new Tide Clean.
If there was one issue with this one, it would be finding enough basic chemicals in the world to have even a small impact on the acidity of our oceans. I was trying to come up with a way that could create an industrial process with a basic chemical as a waste product and a main product that could be bought as a trophy of sorts. In effect, a solid would be formed that a concerned citizen would buy, funding the basic chemicals with their purchase. It was very hard to find anything close to this, mainly because basic chemicals are rare to be found as a waste product. The basic product tends to be the thing that people manufacture, and waste products are something else. If someone saw a doctor with metabolic acidosis in real life, the doctor wouldn't be trying to use an intervention to make the blood more alkaline. Rather, they would look for the causes of acidosis and treat those instead. If a type 1 diabetic patient has acidosis, the treatment would be to give them insulin and get the metabolism to work the way it's meant to. If it's being caused by drug or alcohol abuse, then detoxification is important. Now, doctors can give an IV of sodium bicarbonate, a basic solution, but if you aren't treating the cause, you only have to give more doses. It's the underlying problem with the world, and it's that we have this human addiction to fossil fuels. And the best way to fix it, our world, is to go into detox, to lose our reliance on fossil fuels to live, to change. Goodbye.